the cosmic 2x4 or the gentle nudge. This month we've been talking about receiving guidance from God. And it's pretty enlightening just being aware every day that God's speaking to us all the time through people, through places, experiences, animals, the earth, just life itself. And once we begin to just open up to that, then life truly begins. But usually the guidance that we receive is for us to maybe shift a little bit. Maybe look at life with a new perspective and understand that we can change. So I want to share this poem first with you, and it's about shifting. A gentle rain will soothe the soul and cure what ails the idle, interrupting the sequence of life, dissolving apparent strife. Life unfolds whether we let it or not. We get to be the chooser. What questions are we missing? What answers are we dismissing? We see the way we've always seen until one light-filled day. A new world opens up to us. What part are we to play? Just to know we can let go all that's been before. We stand before an open door. What will be our next adventure? Mm-hmm. Just to know we can let go all that's been before. That's a big one, isn't it? Because don't we want to just carry all the past and all that baggage with us all the time and let it be part of our identity? But we aren't supposed to do that. It slows us down. So cosmic 2x4, a gentle nudge. The guidance. I listen to my guidance and I respond. That's a good affirmation, isn't it? We've all been doing that all month, haven't we? Yes. And then White Eagle says, don't sweat the small stuff. Keep your vision high. And then the beautiful song, Love Grows Here. Our job is to grow love on planet Earth. So it's a wonderful life that we're born to live here. And we have guidance every step of the way. And it's up to us to listen to our guidance and then respond to it. Jesus said for us to go within and to hear the still small voice. But sometimes in our busy world, our busy lives, we forget to turn within. And so we get to experience our guidance in a more demonstrative way. We might call that a cosmic 2x4. And cosmic 2x4s aren't bad. They just are. How's that? They just are. So to begin to learn being taught by a cosmic 2x4 or by that gentle nudge, that still small voice that's ever present within us. When we ignore our guidance or what we know to be true, we'll get what's referred to as the cosmic 2x4. And the cosmic 2x4 is just something to get our attention, to wake us up. It'll show us that maybe we're not aware. And it may even show us that we're not aware that we're not aware. We think we're doing fine, and we're not even aware of it. That's how we can say we live in a loving, supportive universe. We are being supported every step of the way to grow love here on planet Earth. And at this moment in time, this new age that we come into, it is the age of brotherhood. It's to begin to understand how we all are connected. We are all connected. We are one. And so we are moving from our experiencing life and all the trappings in an experience of duality. And we move more into unity consciousness or brotherhood consciousness. And once we begin to move into that oneness consciousness, then we can begin to see the connectedness of life. We can begin to see what we aren't aware of. The universe is telling us to just get with the program. Has anybody here experienced a cosmic 2x4 in their life? Everyone raises their hand. Some people 2 hands. I think my life started out as one big cosmic 2x4. I could go on for hours, but I'm not going to. But I do want to share a story, and this is in Luke. And it's kind of about a cosmic 2x4. And then we can look into it and then look at ourselves also. And this story is about a man whose name is Zachariah. And Zachariah and Elizabeth are John the Baptist's parents. You know, we remember John the Baptist. So Zacharias, he was a priest in the temple. And so he gets a little visitation. I want to read this to you. Okay. He was inside lighting incense, and the congregation's waiting for him. And the angel of the Lord appeared to Zacharias standing on the right of the altar of incense. And when Zacharias saw him, he became dumbfounded and filled with fear. And the angel said to him, "Fear not, Zachariah, for your prayer has been heard, and your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you will call his name John." And Zachariah and Elizabeth are getting up there in age. She's past childbearing age. But he wanted a son. That's pretty important back in those days, because that was all about passing on your name and your wealth and your stature in life. And so he wanted a son, but he thought it was over the limit. And here this angel says, "Hey, your prayers have been answered. You're going to have a son." Okay? So here's Zechariah. So and you'll have joy and gladness, and a great many will rejoice at his birth, for he will be great before the Lord, and he will not drink wine or strong drink, and he'll be filled with Holy Spirit while he is still in the womb of his mother. And many Israelites he will cause to turn to the Lord, their God. And he will go before them in the spirit and the power of Elijah, to turn the hearts of parents to their children, and those who are disobedient to the wisdom of the righteousness, and he will prepare a true people for the Lord. So Zacharias says, "How will I understand this? For I'm an old man, and my wife is well on her way to the grave." So an angel is a messenger from God, whom all things are powerful. And Zechariah is starting to argue with this angel. Have we ever argued with our angels? Nobody here has. Okay. And the angel answered, saying, "I'm Gabriel, who stand in the presence of God, and I am sent to speak to you and to bring you these glad tidings. From henceforth you'll be dumb and not be able to speak till the day these things happen, because you did not believe these were my words, which were to be filled in their time." So at that moment in time, he was struck dumb. He couldn't speak from that moment on. And so when he came out from lighting the incense, and he couldn't speak or anything, never goes, well, he must have had a vision, and then he went home and he couldn't speak. And time goes on, and Elizabeth is pregnant, and she hides it for about 5-6 months, and then comes out pregnant. The Lord has blessed me. And so she has a son. And all this time, Zechariah is dumb. He can't speak. And so after the 8th day, when they're going to do the circumcision ritual, where they name the son, well, in those days, they would name the son after their father. So he would be named Zechariah. And Elizabeth knew he was going to name him John. And so the people are going, "Hey, what's going on? How can this be? How could you name him John and not Zechariah?" And so he said, "Let's give John a tablet or Zechariah a tablet so he can write down what the name should be. And Zechariah writes down John on the tablet. And when he wrote down John, that's when he was opened up to begin to speak, and everyone got to rejoice. Because it was time. And it's kind of a neat story to look at. What does it represent in our life? Well, Zechariah, when we teach metaphysics, the men are the male action figures and authority, and the females are intuition. And so we have old authority figures and young authority figures, and old intuition and young intuition. And that's how we begin to see how we evolve in consciousness through this narrative. And so Zechariah represents the outward action of how the people had been worshiping and the relationship with God. God was out there. And they were in a pretty fear-based society. I think the clearest example of what I share with people is to look at the Old Testament, and it's kind of like a judging, wrathful, punishing God. And then the New Testament, where God is our Father, loving, caring, giving to us, supporting of us. And so in a lot of these older stories in this older consciousness, they're afraid of the Lord. An angel appears and he's in fear. And I would hope that if an angel appeared to all of us, we'd be happy. We'd say, hey, God, speak to me. But it's consciousness that they're looking at. And so he was, at that time, a male in authority. He was a priest in the temple. And the angel then appears to him and tells him about John and Jesus. This is what's going to happen. And then Gabriel, comes to him. And Gabriel's the angel, and he says, I come from God. I came to share this message with you. Zechariah is arguing with an angel. I don't know. It's a good story. So what we would say is, when we argue with an angel or we argue with divine guidance, then we are shut down. And Zechariah, no more outer expression at his current level of consciousness is allowed. No more outer expression at his current level of consciousness is allowed. See, at the current level of consciousness he was in at that time, arguing with an angel, his understanding as God, being separate, outside himself, and being fear-based. The angel was foretelling a shift in consciousness because we were going to move into a new relationship with God. John and Jesus are the new action figures, the new male authority in the world now. And then from this moment on, the whole walk, they just got grief, didn't they? They got grief from the old male action figures, the old authority figures. And it starts right then. But you see how Zechariah was stopped in his ability to continue to speak the old truths or the old understandings of that time. So with us, so this is our story too. So whenever we argue with our divine guidance, we too are going to be shut down in what we're doing. And so that brings us up to cosmic 2x4s. And everybody, and some people raised at both hands, having experienced cosmic 2x4s. However, I think that we're moving into a time, because of our expanded awareness and our desire to know Spirit, to know God. Like I said, if an angel came, we would say, yea, God. We ask that they come with us. We call them forth to be with us every day. We want to see them, feel them. We want them in the physical. So just by that expansion in consciousness of being open to that and looking for that, that experience is going to be more natural and more normal for us to have. So as we have come through a period of time when maybe we're more asleep than awake, that's when these cosmic 2x4s, these wake-up calls, these attitude adjustments would be given to us. But so as we begin to understand that we have the capacity, I listen to my guidance and I respond, we're going to begin to transcend the cosmic 2x4s. It's like we can graduate from that type of teacher. We've all heard the phrase, the school of hard knocks, haven't we? Didn't we hate to hear that? And people say, oh, yeah, there you go. You're choosing the school of hard knocks on this one. And you know what? We did because we weren't aware at that time. Now we're becoming aware, and we're making choices that support our growth and our manifestation as the sons and daughters of God. So, have you ever known anyone who didn't like their job? And they murmured about it all the time, and they hated to go there, and I hate this job, and blah, blah, blah. But they didn't do anything about it. They kept going back to work. They didn't make any changes. They didn't take night classes to pursue creative endeavors. And lo and behold, one day they go into work, and they might get laid off or let go. And you know what their first response is? How could you do that to me? I don't deserve this. You say, I don't deserve this. What am I going to do now? How is this going to impact my life? I could be hurt by this situation. Do you see how they're disconnecting from the whole experience and the whole situation that who created? They did. They did. You see, so as we begin to pay attention, to how we're experiencing our life, to begin to listen to our guidance and respond to it, because as we've listened to them murmur about their work and the situation that they're in, we might have even said, hey, what do you want to do? What would you like to do with your life? And maybe given some ideas or something like that. If we're not listening to our own guidance, we're not going to listen to anybody else's. We're unaware that we're unaware. And that's when the universe, the loving, supportive universe that we live in, is going to move us to our next step. Because it's all about evolution in consciousness. It's all about growing, expanding. The simple teachings of Jesus the Christ are behavior modification. To begin to change our behaviors. To be nice. To be nice. To acknowledge God in our life. Very simple principles if we begin to choose them, to listen to them, and then act on them. So, today, as we have our expanded awareness, we begin to understand that we are creating our reality. We are creating our experiences, aren't we? If we're holding these murmur thoughts and not liking where we're at and feeling limited or thwarted or a victim, then we're going to create that. It's going to manifest right into us. As within, so without. As within, so without. And then we can go, we're trying to even move beyond. Did I do this? To being aware of, I created this. I created this cosmic 2x4. I created this wake-up call. So once we say, I created this, then we go, well, why did I create this? Why did I create this? Every time that we have a change in our life, it is a shift in consciousness. And that's what growth is all about. Shifting our consciousness, growing, shifting our consciousness. The last week when Cindy talked about signs, she said there might be outward signs that reveal that we need to make an inner change. Or there might be inner guidance that shows that we have to give an outer change. See, the signs are there for us to see. The guidance is there. It's how we respond to it that's going to determine the experience that we're going to have. So to begin to understand that we create this experience, we create this cosmic 2x4 for the intention of our growth, for the intention to move into our unlimited nature. And you know what happens? When we're in these uncomfortable and unfulfilling job situations or relationships or something like that, when we lose the job or lose the relationship, I don't think it's so much that we grieve the loss of the job or the relationship, but we grieve the loss of control that we have. Because we have a degree of control in our life. And as we begin to understand that, that's very liberating. When we say, "Thy will be done, Father," that's what that means. We get on that path to spiritual unfoldment. And as we begin to walk down that path of spiritual unfoldment, we are loved and supported by our angels, guides, and teachers. And they're going to keep us moving down that path. And we might get lazy, and we might move into some addiction, and pretty soon, cosmic 2x4, and we're moved right along. You know, like I said, my life, cosmic 2x4. When I was young, ever see anybody with a real big head? Oh, that was God's gift to the planet. And I was a hard worker and a good person, but I was proud of myself. And when I started doing carpentry work in summers between college and everything, then I just got right into doing that. And so I worked for this one guy, this really nice guy who really liked me and was trying to progress me through the ranks. He saw me more than just a really hard worker. He saw that I had potential. And so I would just go there and I'd work really hard and everything, but I didn't see my potential. All I saw was I was a good worker, and at 4:30 when work got out, I'm heading with the guys, the other cowboys, to the saloon. And hopefully I would be to work on time the next morning. And I know there's probably a couple of you guys out there that did this too. But anyways, he'd always try to talk with me. He just truly loved me. And so one day I go in there, 10 o'clock. Construction, they start about 7. So I'm good. Walk in there, yeah, I'm cool, yeah. I say, he comes right up to me, he says, "You're fired." What? See, what? How could you do this to me? You see? I'm God's greatest gift to carpentry. I'm making you money. You're fired. Okay. So you go out and leave. That was a pretty good cosmic 2x4 for me. Because I was unaware that I was unaware. And that was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it woke me up. And it woke me up that I was part of the whole. That we are all in this together. And if we can just realize that and all work together in our lives, we can get a lot accomplished. And that's what this age that we're moving into now, is that understanding that if we begin to work together a little bit more, we can really transform this planet. We're not beyond the point of no return. Because God is infinite in His potential to create and recreate. So to begin to take responsibility. And one thing I'll say is I took responsibility for that pretty quick. I didn't really feel that bad about it because I kind of knew what I was doing, but I wasn't listening to my guidance. I wasn't listening and receiving the support that the universe was giving me. I knew that, but I didn't care. I was like, I'm having fun. And it really woke me up on many, many levels. And it was great. And it helped me to see a greater potential in myself. And then when I got into a position, when I owned a company and I hired people, and I saw the potential in other young men, I'd always talk with them and try to get them to see that they were a whole lot more than they thought they were. And for that little gift of learning that myself and be able to pass that little sentence along to other people, I'm just happy to have had that experience. So our cosmic 2x4s aren't bad if we listen. Listen while we're having a cosmic 2x4 also. To begin to change the way that we perceive life. And as we move out of duality, you and me, them and us, mine. Cindy and I were talking the other day, and it's about this shifting and everything, and say, we have to move from me to we, you know? So I said, oh, that's easy. You just take that letter and turn it upside down. Turn that M upside down to a W. Hey, we can do that, can't we? Can't we? But it's perception. If we can begin to perceive that we are one, we can become one. If we can perceive that we are one, we can become one. Max Planck, father of quantum mechanics, this is one of his sayings. When you change the way you look at an object, the object changes. That's a quantum reality of our creation. So as we begin to change the way that we perceive ourselves, as we begin to change the way that we perceive this world, we can achieve that. And so when we bump into a wall, just like White Eagle said, don't let it get you down. Don't look back, don't look down. Look up and keep listening to that guidance. When we surrender to our spiritual evolution, we'll be moved to our right and perfect place. It's called being. Just being. We will be moved when we just be who we are. It's not what we do. It's what we are. And that's the gift of cosmic 2x4s. So, our inner guidance is always revealing to us our uniqueness. And then it'll show us how we can share it with the world. And then that's the transformation process that's going on right now. So let's go within for a moment. And I want you to just close your eyes and just breathe, and just breathe in God's love again. Just feel God's love filling you. You are the beloved child of our Heavenly Father. Just breathe and feel God's love filling you. Breathe and know how loved and supported you are. And just become aware of a column of light coming over you as you sit in your chair. And as you sit in this light, just breathe in this living light. Feel it coming through your crown chakra. Breathe it in. Feel it wrapping around you. Feel how good it feels to be in this living light. Loved, supported, fed, transformed. And I want you to just feel yourself being lifted up this column of light now. Just let yourself go. I now let go. I'm going to surrender to my spiritual evolution this day. And feel yourself being lifted up this column of light. Lighter and freer. It's getting brighter and brighter. And this column of light transports you to the beautiful garden within your heart. And as you stand within your garden, just look around this beautiful garden. And notice the wonder and beauty of nature. Feel yourself fed by the energy of your garden. And as you stand in your garden, just become aware of a radiant star above your head. And just see it just radiating and alive and pulsating this radiant light. And this radiant light is your higher self. And just become aware of streams of light from that star just coming down, overshadowing you with this light. Feel it moving through your crown chakra, wrapping all around you. Just breathe it in, drink in this light. Feel yourself immersed in this light, this Christ light. And just breathe and feel your body responding to the light. Feel the love. And in this place of love and light, what is your vision of life? What is your vision of life? And how do you see yourself in your vision of life? Is everything unfolding smoothly and in harmony? If not, in this radiant light and love, ask to see where you're creating resistance or limitations and being able to express your unique truth. Ask to see, ask to feel, ask to know. And it may be directing your energy to outer experiences or a person. But now we seek the inner awareness. Ask that inner knowing begin to be strong in your walk. Ask that you always feel guided every step of your walk. Surrender. I now surrender to my spiritual evolution. And I accept the blessings that come to me daily in my life. And just breathe and feel your energy light and free. Feel your ability to transcend the pettiness and the limitations of the physical world. See yourself more than mortal. See yourself as the radiant son, the radiant daughter of our Heavenly Father. Co-creator of our world. So just breathe and feel your energy. You're a unique vibration of love. Just know this energy. This is who you are. This is who I am. Be still and know. I am with you always. So take a deep breath and feel your feet back on the floor. Your consciousness back in your body. Gently wiggling your toes and fingers, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Glad to be alive on planet Earth at this moment in time. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful planet. And we're here to grow more love. So your homework this week, daily, how can I grow more love in my world? Does everybody accept that mission?
Yeah.
Yeah, God.